How's it going, everybody? My name is Release Radar, and in today's video, we take a look at performance of The Last of Us Part 1 here on the Steam Deck. Let's get into it. Before we get into the rest of the video, I want to let you guys know that I started a podcast with some friends called Joystick Junkies. Check us out. It's a lot of fun, and then also subscribe. Really helps with the algorithm. Let's get into the video. All right, so we're currently loading into the game. I have no idea how this is going to perform. The game just launched about 30 minutes ago, and it took about that much time to get it fully set up here on the Steam Deck. But here we are on The Last of Us Part 1, and we have to build shaders. Crap. I'll see you guys when that's done. So just based on the time frame that I have, guys, I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes, and the shaders are only 6% done. And if you look at the cores, they've been absolutely hammered. I've went through the graphics settings and put everything on low as it can get, and the shaders are probably going to take like a couple hours just to install. So I don't have the time for that. I'm just going to go ahead and throw us into The Last of Us, and we're just going to see how this performs. I'm going to do no challenge at all, and we're going to start a new game here. The shaders are just going to take so long to compile, but it looks like you can play while they're compiling, maybe, or not. But I've been sitting here for about maybe 15 minutes, and they only got to 7% done, which is just, it's going to take too long. All right, so here we are. I think the cutscenes are rendered in-game, and you can see just by that alone. I'm going to skip the cinematics, because I actually do want to play through this again on my own, on my PC, which I'm very excited for. I wonder if there's a driver update for this game. I'm going to check that after I'm done recording this, because I do want to update my drivers before if there is an update for this. Okay, all I did was skip a cinematic, and now we're loading, but there's no loading bar. There's the loading bar. Okay. I haven't even been able to move around or play yet, but I think it's safe to assume that this game's not really optimized for Steam Deck. If they would have released the original PS3 version of The Last of Us, it probably would have had none of these issues. So, and they're not necessarily issues, right? It's just a more demanding version of the game. I believe this runs on the engine for The Last of Us Part 2, which came out in 2020, and it's just a very beautiful game, The Last of Us Part 2. So I expect this to also look stunning. But the poor Steam Deck, I don't know if the poor Steam Deck's going to be able to do this, which does kind of suck, because I know a lot of you watch these videos to see if you can actually play the games you want to play on the deck, and it looks like we just froze while loading after skipping a cinematic just trying to get into the gameplay. So I'm going to see if I can recover us from this freeze, but this video's already been a couple minutes long. I haven't even been able to play anything yet. Oh, my PC just said Steam Deck is no longer available. I think we might have crashed. Uh-oh. So, the deck crashed. I have all of my recording stuff over here. I usually capture it with the capture card. Goes to this USB hub. I have the deck sitting right here. And then I also have a controller plugged into the USB hub. Hi, dog. And that's how I record the Steam Deck benchmark videos through OBS. But it crashed. It's very toasty, and it's not turning back on, which is a little concerning. I'm going to hold the power button here, see if we can get anything. Uh-oh. What do you think, Toby? What's the problem here? Because, uh-oh. Oh, okay, I saw something. I think I held down the power button long enough. I think we're alive, Steam Deck? Are we alive? Okay, it made a noise. Okay, it looks like it's coming back online. I might wait a little bit before I try this again, because maybe there's something in the intro of the game that's breaking the Steam Deck, so I might try to get through the intro on my PC and then try it again on the Steam Deck when I can actually get to some gameplay out in the open world. But this video's in shambles. Uh-oh. All right, guys, we finally loaded into the game. The shaders took about an hour and a half to compile, so I literally just got all of my homework for the next week done. But here we are. We're going to look at the display settings. First, we're running at 1280 by 800, but it's actually using AMD FSR 2.0 to downscale it to 856 by 536 and then upscale that up to 1280 by 800, right? So it's using AMD FSR. I put our frame rate cap at 30 FPS because anything higher than that is just not really possible. I am going to move the, I'm going to put it on performance here for AMD FSR and see if maybe we can push 60 FPS, but I don't think we'll be able to, so I'm honestly not even going to try right now. I'll try a little later. But AMD FSR on performance, low settings, locked at 30 frames on both the Steam Deck. So if I go here, I have my frame rate limit at 30 FPS. And then also just the in-game frame rate locked at 30 FPS. It actually surprisingly is playable. Now, it looks like hot garbage. The atmosphere of the game is pretty much lost playing it like this. I mean, look at the textures on Joel's shirt. Look at his hair. It all just looks very cartoony. It goes from looking like a pretty realistic game when I play it on my actual PC to looking like kind of like Fortnite-ish when you play it like this, because everything is just so low quality and all the textures are so mushy and plasticky looking is the best way I can describe it. But moving around like this, you know, it does work. I don't really remember what the sprint button was on controller for this game, but, you know, moving around, it's great. I don't really want to waste any ammo, but I am going to fire off a round and just see if we get some performance dips, and it doesn't look like we did. Okay, reload is, how do you reload? You aim and then you press X. No, you aim and you press B? No, aim and you press A. No, aim and you press Y. How do you reload on controller? Okay, well, it's just not letting me. Okay, whatever. But I think I'm going to load an encounter now that I actually got the game to work, and we're going to see how this runs during some combat, because that is what I imagine probably is the most intensive and most graphically demanding part of the game, is when there's a lot of particles and there's a bunch of other AI loaded in and you're fighting them. So I'm going to load the first encounter in the game, and we're going to see how that runs. All right. Luckily, The Last of Us Part 1 on PC does what The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5 does, and you can just load into any encounter and just play the combat again in that section. So I didn't have to backtrack or lose any progress or play up to this point again. But we are in the first combat encounter in the game here, and we're just going to go for it. I don't expect to be very good because I am playing with controller here. So there is that, but we're going to go ahead and just start shooting some things and see how this runs. So that's one down. It doesn't look like we're losing any frames, which is good. That's two. Still don't know how to reload. I remember you had to aim down sights and then click a button, but I don't remember what button it was. And I'm pressing every button on my controller, and none of them are reloading. So, couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Also, you do have to remember I'm playing this without audio. So I'm just going off of visual cues and stuff. Because the way I record, I don't get sound on my end. But yeah, Last of Us low settings, AMD FSR. It seems to run just fine, which is awesome. That was a little brutal. But yeah, I'm honestly surprised with how well this works. Because at the beginning of the video, I was encountering problem after problem after problem, but they released a patch. I guess it was some sort of hotfix. Doesn't look that great. So now we're just going to see how far we can push the game in terms of performance here. So let's go to options. We're going to go to display. We're going to see if we can get 60 FPS, basically. That's the goal. So we're going to put ultra performance on, apply changes. We're going to unlock the frame rate on both the Steam Deck and the game, and we're going to see if we can hit 60 FPS. So we've unlocked the frame rate on the deck, and now I believe I go up to graphics. That's haptics. Graphics is down here. I'm blind. And then we're going to change the frame rate. That actually might be under display. I don't really remember. Okay, here it is, frame rate cap. We're going to put that at 60 and see if we can actually hit 60 FPS. And it does not appear that we can. We can actually hover around 40. 60 probably isn't going to happen, but we're getting about high 30s up to 40. So let's try doing a 40 FPS cap. So I tinkered with the game a little bit to try to get it run at a solid 40 hertz, and it kind of does. But honestly, what I would recommend is playing it at 30. So if you have a Steam Deck and you really want to play The Last of Us Part 1 and you want to play it on the go, or the Steam Deck is your only option to play it, because keep in mind, you can play this on the PS3, PS4, or PS5, and now PC or Steam Deck. So you have options on how you want to play this. And if you've never played it before and you don't own a gaming device, getting a used PS4 and playing the original remastered version of this game, because this has been re-released 3 times now, because there's The Last of Us Remastered, and now The Last of Us Part 1, which is on PS5, PS4, and PC. But The Last of Us Remastered will run best on PS4, in my opinion, and you'll be able to play the game, and you can just get a used PS4. So if you really wanted to play the game and you don't have a console to play it on, that would be the way I recommend to do it, because the show really has brought in a lot more fans to the Last of Us universe. So with all that out of the way, I recommend playing this with AMD FSR 2.0 enabled and on performance, low settings across the board, and with a 30 Hz lock on the Steam Deck and a 30 FPS cap on the game. So 30 FPS, low settings, FSR 2.0 on performance. That is how I recommend playing The Last of Us on the Steam Deck. And I would imagine on the Steam Deck screen and not on my monitor, which is what I'm playing on right now, the game will look even better in low settings because it's just like a smaller screen. But the PPI of my monitor with low settings on a game like this just doesn't look that good. But with all of that out of the way, what are your thoughts about the performance of this game on the Steam Deck? Are you happy with it? Is it what you expected? Or are you pretty disappointed in it, kind of like I am? But with all this out of the way, let me know your thoughts down below. My name's Release Radar. Thank you so much for watching the Steam Deck Benchmark. And I have some cool videos coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.